This conference will now be recorded.
Morning, all of you. So we were discussing clinical data management. So can you all see the PowerPoint? Am I audible to you? Okay. So clinical data management is the management of data that is generated from clinical trials. So we also discussed how, like, why it is so important that we have to take utmost care in management of data, because from this data only we have to generate the answer, because the hypothesis of the clinical research is answered based upon the data that is generated. So it is important that we manage it properly. So we have a team, clinical data management team, who works continuously for that. Then the different steps, like initially we have the case report form where we will collect the data. Just like you have to just remember, it is just like a patient profile form where you have to enter the data. So that is case report form. So in the beginning stage itself, like when you are working on the protocol of the clinical research, in that stage itself, we have to work on this case report form designing also, because on this case report form only we will mark the data. Then case report form, we have to use various symbols or small short forms, which is called as CRF annotations. So CRF annotations also, when you prepare CRF annotation, you can refer to like there are different resources available for that. So CRF annotation is done based upon these standard resources. Then in clinical data management, it is not done manually. We cannot, like, in maybe in the previous times, early times, it was done manually. But now we have lot of softwares and available for that, and there are IT people who are working on it. So we have uh, databases. One second, I'll join you. Yes, so we have different databases where the data, that collected data, will be entered. So these databases will be designed by the IT section of any, like maybe pharmaceutical company will be having their own IT section, or it will be given outsourced to other companies where they will prepare, or they will design the database according to the need, according to our need, according to the protocol. It will be designed, and in this database only we will enter the data. Then data entry is also again another step, and this data entry will be done if it is an ECR, electronic case report form, it will be done like at the time of data collection only. But if it is a paper CRF form, so the case report form, when you study, we have, I think, in our syllabus we have designing of case report form. So when you study that, there are two types of case report forms. This is that is the electronic case report form and also the paper-based case report form. So in large scale studies, in large multi-center studies and all, it is always good to you go for this electronic case report form. But in small studies, again, we depend upon the paper-based case report form. So if it is a paper-based case report form, then we have to do the data entry. So one like the data will be collected from in the paper-based case report form, and it will be given to where the data entry is done. Maybe a clinical research coordinator or any other assigned person will be entering the data, and it has to be given to that authorized person who will be entering. And in case of electronic based case report form, we have like at the time of data collection itself, at the near the patient itself, we enter directly the data into the database. So data entry is done at the data collection point itself. Data collection point itself, it will be done in ECR form, and it will be automatically entered into the database. Then once the data is entered, the data validation will be done. Data validation is also, again, it is programmed. Inbuilt program will be there for data validation. So there will be like different commands will be there, and based on these commands, that is inbuilt commands, the data will be validated. Then there is discrepancy management. So if any variation is there, that has to be managed. Then we use medical coding techniques, so that why medical coding is required is because in case of multi-center trials and all, if one study will be done in India, another study will be done in Australia, so the terms we use should be uniform. Like when we enter the data, like blood pressure, hypertension, or blood sugar, blood glucose, all these terms, sometimes slight variation can happen. Medical terminology variation can happen. In order to avoid that, so that the data, the terms or the words that we use should be uniform. So we depend upon this medical coding, where the different words will be having different codes, and the particular code will be used, and so that in different site the same codes or the same words will be used. That is why medical coding is also important in clinical data management. Then database locking is the final step, where all the data is entered, and once validation and any discrepancy, everything, if it is managed, then it will be locked. And afterwards, after database locking is done, again we cannot change the data that is entered. There will be like authorized persons who will be doing this database locking also. Then once database locking is done, data extraction is done, where we use the data for statistical analysis for preparing the result. So that is data extraction. So clinical data management, as we can understand, it is from the collection. Then we have cleaning. So like the data collection will be done. Then once data collection, then data validation, cleaning, and management of the data will be done, and it has to be done in compliance with the regulatory standards. Then, as we discussed before, the objective is to provide with high quality data. The data quality should be high, and to reduce the errors and also the missing data. So that is the main aim behind the clinical data management. So in order to achieve this aim, there is a clinical data management team, and they work together, and we use different softwares and different practices. Then we also have different tools, such as different softwares are there, such as Oracle, Clinical, ClinTrial, Macro, Rave, etc. Then if any country is not having any guidelines, as you can see, US use the Code of Federal CFR 21 CFR Part 11. So based upon the guidelines that is provided in the CFR Part 11, they will be managed. They will do the clinical data management. And if any country is not having any nation is not having such a guideline, then this is a resource they can rely upon. That is the Society for Clinical Data Management, and also Clinical Data Interchange Standards Consortium, where there are a lot of resources on how the clinical data management has to be done, so that if we follow these guidelines, the data will be of good quality. Then we'll just see what are the steps. So initially, as I said earlier, the case report form has to be designed, and this case report form designing is based upon the it is based upon the protocol. Like in the protocol, we like when we go through the protocol, we will understand what all data has to be collected, how often it has to be collected, all such things. So based upon the protocol, we can design the case report form, and in case report form, we can allot spaces. Like if it is, if the data, if some values needs to be collected for 1 month, we need to provide this space should be there for at least 1 month, so that definition field definition, everything has to be mentioned, or that space should be provided. Then when we design the case report form, we have to ensure that it is concise, self-explanatory, and user-friendly, because case CRF will be designed by one person and it is used by some other person in the particular trial site. So that person who is using the CRF at the trial site should uh, should be able to use it without any difficulty. So it has to be, the CRF has to be prepared in such a way that it is concise. It should not be so lengthy, because if it is lengthy, what happens? The person will not be able to, uh, means it will be tiresome. They will not be able to fill everything properly. So it should be concise, then self-explanatory. So when they are filling the data, they should not have any, they should not come across any doubts, and it should be user-friendly. And in CRF form, if some complicated terms, or if there is any instruction, special instruction needs to be provided, then a CRF completion guideline also has to be provided along with the case report form. And CRF annotation, maybe a booklet of CRF annotation also can be given, so that they can use these annotation when they fill the CRF form. Then before going further, like before, even the initial step itself, data management plan uh, has to be done. Then again, next step is database designing. The database designing is, again, it is a software, and there will be inbuilt commands where when we enter the data itself, if it is a if there is any mistake, that data will be rejected. So database will be designed in such a way that if wrong entries are made, then it will be either rejected, or maybe some queries will be raised. So based, and these queries has to be clarified with the person who has entered the or collected the data. So such things begins to happen when, as we start entering the data into the database. Next is so database designing. So first is database designing. So database designing is also based upon the protocol. So in protocol only we'll be having this inclusion exclusion criteria. So how each data, what, like whether it is a numerical data, whether it is consisting of alphabets. So all those will be present in the protocol, and based upon the protocol, we have to use this, like we have to design this database. So such instructions to the IT personnel will be given from the based upon the protocol. So that is database designing. This database designing also needs to happen beforehand, before even the study is initiated. So CRF designing, database designing, all these should happen early. Then finally, now we here we start to work with the data. So first, what we do, data collection. Data collection is done with the help of case report form. So as I said earlier, the case report form can be, it's in the form, it can be in the form of paper or electronic version. So the paper case report form is the traditional method. So once the data is collected on the paper case report form, again it has to be translated to the database. So that process is called as data entry. So data entry is done in-house. Then in case report form, who fills the data? It is maybe the investigator, or the investigator will be assigning some other person, such as clinical research coordinator, or maybe some other designee. So this person will be entering the case report form. Then if it is an electronic case report form, again, either investigator or a designee will be logging into the clinical data management system, and he will enter the data directly at the site. So that is that is the advantage of electronic case report form. So we can see that in electronic case report form, the data will be entered directly into the CDM system. Whereas in paper case report form, again, 2 times. first it has to be entered into the paper, and again this paper will be handed over to the people who will be entering into the database. So where data entry will be done. But in ECRF, or at the site itself, maybe near the participant or near the subject itself, when we enter the data into ECRF, and it will be directly entered into the clinical data management system. So that is the advantage. So with ECRF based clinical data management, the chances of errors are less, because when we directly at the site itself, if we enter into the CDM system, then if at all some mistakes are there, I think we discussed in like the database is designed in such a way that if some data is mismatching, then it will be rejected. So the chances of errors are less with ECRF methods, and discrepancy resolution also happens faster. So at the time of entry itself, when we are near the subject and when we are entering the data directly into the ECRF, it enters into the CDS, clinical data management system. And at that time itself, if at all any error is there, if any mismatch or any mistake is there, that will be resolved at that point of entry itself, because we are entering directly. The data is entered directly into the CDM system. So the chances of errors as well as resolution of discrepancy will happen faster in case of ECRF, if you are using ECRF, electronic case report form. Next is CRF tracking, case report form tracking. So the entries made in the case report form will be monitored by the clinical research associate. So if it is a paper-based case report form, once all the entries are made, once the data is entered into the case report form, again it will be monitored by the clinical research associate whether it is complete, and if like any mistake on from his side, he'll be finding, if he'll be just going through it and he'll find some mistakes, or he'll be asking whether why it is not completed, all such things by the clinical research associated. And once the CRF is filled, then it is managed to the clinical data management team. So CDM team, it will be given filled case report forms will be sent to the CDM team. Then CDM team will be again they will be tracking for missing pages. Any pages are missing, or if it is illegible, and so they will be interacting with the whoever has entered why the pages are missing, like whatever in the case report form, whatever mistakes that are visible there, they will be like illegible data, or if any data is missing, that they will directly interact with the person who has entered. Then in case if there is the data is missing or illegible, then clarification will be done with the investigator and the issue will be solved. So this happens before entering into the database. So what happens? The case report form will be filled and it will be monitored by the clinical research associate for completeness. Then after it is monitored by the CRA, it will be handed over to the CDM team. Then CDM team also will look for any illegible data or missing data, and the CDM team will seek clarification from the investigator directly, and such issues will be resolved. So this is called as CRF tracking. Next is data entry. Now the CRF forms are with the clinical data management team. Now they will start the entry. So data entry again will be taking place according to the guidelines prepared by the data management plan. So like we discussed, there should be a data management plan which has to be made prior. So based upon this data management plan, data entry will be done. So in the plan it will be mentioned like from which date the data entry has to be initiated, who has to enter, who can log in. So all such things will be mentioned in the data management plan, and based on that the data entry will take place. So data entry, as I said before, it is applicable only to the paper based case report form. In ECRF, since it is entered directly, it will not happen. Then again there is something called as double data entry. So in double data entry, two operators will be entering the data separately. So this they do to reduce the errors. So the same data will be entered by two persons separately. So this is done. This is called as double data entry, and this is done to reduce errors. Next is data validation. So again, in accordance with the data will be validated in accordance with the protocol specifications. So in the database itself, sometimes these edit check programs will be there. So if at all some wrong data is entered, this will be generating some mm, like if we enter some wrong data, it will be generating some mismatch or some what to say uh, some pop-ups will come uh, uh, some pop-up which says that it is not in accordance with the protocol or it is not according to the range that is mentioned. So that is data validation. So this data validation will happen according to the already set program in the database. And before with dummy data, this will be checked. This data validation part is checked with dummy data, that some wrong like before even initiating this data entry process, they will enter some data which is some wrong data they'll enter, and they'll see whether it is functioning properly or not. So with dummy data, they'll check initially whether whether it is working properly or not. Next is discrepancy management. So discrepancy management is the very most important step. So this is called as discrepancy management is also called as query resolution. So here what happens is they will review the discrepancy and investigate why the particular discrepancy has happened, and the discrepancy will be resolved. And once it is resolved, again it will be documented. So in documentation, what all they will include, what discrepancy was found, and the reason for the discrepancy, and how it was resolved. All these will be documented. And if it is a discrepancy that cannot be solved, then it will be declared as irresolvable. So discrepancy management is another important step. So discrepancy management is the crucial step in cleaning the data. And if at all, if it is a irresolvable discrepancy, again like if it is an irresolvable discrepancy, again since we are documenting like why it cannot be resolved and what is the reason for the discrepancy. So this will help in gathering the evidence for deviation from the observed data. So why that deviation has happened, or why such discrepancy is happening, that reason since we are collecting, so we'll get information on like evidence for deviation from the observed data. Then so there is a discrepancy database also where all the discrepancy will be recorded. So that is that is the importance of documentation. So there will be a separate database for all the discrepancy that has that they have faced in clinical data management, that will be recorded in a separate database, and that will be used for audit. So in case of an electronic CRF, we saw like how it is done. Electronic CRF, we'll enter the data directly. So in electronic CRF, as I said, the advantage is that if at all any discrepancy is there, that discrepancy will be flagged to the person who has entered the data at the same time itself, at the same time of data entry itself. The discrepancy, if at all any discrepancy is there, that will be flagged to the person who has entered the data. So that is the advantage of electronic case report form. So the time of resolution of any discrepancy is less in case of electronic case report. And in electronic case report form, because that person is still available at the site of data collection, that discrepancy can be solved very quickly also. Now, what is discrepancy? Discrepancy is any data that fails to pass the validation check. So discrepancy can be like inconsistent data, missing data, range check, or deviation from the protocol. All these are considered as discrepancy. So if the data is inconsistent, or data is missing, or if it is not within the range, and also if it is deviating from the protocol, then it will not pass the validation check. So at the point of validation check, this discrepancy will be raised, and there will be once discrepancy is raised, data clarification forms will be generated. So automatically the data clarification form will be generated. If at all, if there is any inconsistent data, missing data, not within the range, or any deviation from the protocol, soon after the database recognize it, the discrepancy is raised, and immediately data clarification forms will be generated. So data clarification forms, they are documents containing queries pertaining to the discrepancies identified. So it will be a form where there will be, like, imagine there will be questions like what there will be, the first line will be what is the discrepancy, then the next, like why it happened, the reason behind uh, that discrepancy, then which part, all such things will be there in the data clarification form. So this has to be filled by the person who has identified the uh, data. So data clarification forms are generated once any discrepancy is uh, like discrepancy is identified. Then this technical data management teams, they will review all the discrepancies at regular intervals. So as I said earlier, there will be this the clinical data, sorry, data management plan is already made. So in that plan itself, they will mention like at what intervals the discrepancy management should be done, and within what time span the discrepancy has to be resolved. So all these will be there in the clinical data management plan, and based on that, the CDM team will review all the discrepancy at regular intervals. And if the discrepancies are resolved, all the resolved data discrepancy will be recorded as closed. And if validation failure is still exists, then like if validation failures are no longer active. So closed means that reason is made, or that this data is entered, and the discrepancy is resolved. So that means the validation check is passed. So validation failure will not be considered active. And so this is with discrepancy management. So in case where the investigator is not able to provide any solution for the discrepancy, then the discrepancy will be classified or categorized as irresolvable. And as I said earlier, there is a discrepancy database, and the same, it will be mentioned as irresolvable discrepancy in the discrepancy database. So that is with discrepancy management. The remaining part we'll discuss in the next class. So if you have any doubt, you can ask.